Welcome to episode 6 of the Zillathor podcast. What the? Whoa. So, where have I been? It's been a good bit since I recorded the last podcast. I don't even know how long it's been. Honestly, couldn't tell you. I think it's been like 4 or 5 months, possibly. I know I did one this year, but that's maybe a stretch. Maybe it was New Year's. I did my last one, but we'll see. What have I been up to? Well, back at like Marchish, I did a costume fitting for a big enough extras gig, and then I was flat out doing that for a couple of months. Um, awesome experience. Met a lot of cool people, cool friends that are hopefully gonna be friends for life. And definitely a lot of friends that are in the industry, the film industry, stuff like that. There are people that want to be, people that are doing cool shit. Straight off the back of that, I went from that straight into the next thing. Got a couple of days. I got a decent stint on the next thing. Straight off the back of that, I honestly just needed a break, and my break includes getting back to doing all the shit that I love to do. Yeah. Other than that, not a lot going on. This is like the start of a little segment I think I'm gonna put on at the start of the podcast called personal news. I always kind of start off at the start being like, where the fuck have I been? What have I been up to? So that's a thing. Only other bit of personal news is I have a surgery coming up to fix my teeth. Jaw surgery. Nothing big. Nothing life threatening. That's every time somebody says a surgery, it means something's wrong. But this is just to fix something. And it's kind of just cosmetic, really. So yeah, that to look forward to, and that's all I have for personal news. What are we getting up to now? I have a lot of like content opportunities coming up. I have a few things in the works that are yet to be revealed, but teasing them here and there. A lot of things that I want to do. I have a lot more things written out on my board. Again, it's always that this board is when I'm in my flow. This board is always full, and I'm always just battling that thing. So I have some pretty cool ideas to put on there. I'm definitely going to be somewhat doubling down on like creation and making things. A lot of times I let my own like personal wall be put up when things can't be perfect or aren't gonna be exactly the way I want them to be. But I'm gonna try to kind of break down that barrier again and just be all about making cool content, cool funny things. Some things are gonna be a bit more raw than others because that's what happens in the moment. You have an idea and you just pick up your phone and you fucking make it, That's something that's really, really good for me because spontaneity kind of drives my creativity in a weird way. Like some of the funniest things I've made or put out have been just like something to make somebody laugh, kind of thing. Like one of my TikToks blew the fuck up. It was hold me with this fucking green square, and it got like 40,000 views. It done really well, and that was one of the like spur of the moment kind of creative ideas, which I believe that I have to make if I've got the ability and the inspiration, motivation, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I should make those things because they can turn out to be pretty golden. Other things I want to talk about. I've got a kind of an idea because I'm doubling down on creativity, doubling down on making stuff. I thought that all my content is going to start getting spread further on all these different platforms: TikTok, Instagram. I have 2 Instagrams at the minute, maybe more in the future. I have my Twitch, YouTube. all these things. I want to kind of have a centralized place where I can put all, like, not put all these things, but that I can showcase them all, like a basically like a hub for all things that are like me, that are Zillathor and Josh. Also, the I have a cool idea for, like, I know it's weird because I don't want to traditionally call it like merch, because that's not what I want to do. I don't want to slap my logo on a t-shirt and say somebody buy some shit. I want to have like a solid clothing line. I know it's weird, like veer off for me, but building my personal brand has been something that I'm kind of toying around with in my head. The Zillathor logo, the Zillathor name, all that kind of shit is basically all the things that I do. So it is smart to be able to push that further with something new that can also, not that it's the focus. It brings in revenue for me to do other things. Excuse me. So being able to having the capacity to make the cool clothing line, make something cool for people, is a way for me to do other shit. I feel like that's always, like, it always comes full circle with the things I'm doing. I do this thing because it benefits this thing. Like, I got into photography because it benefited my personal brand on Instagram and stuff. It was content that I could put out. Then it looped back into Twitch, where I could put the better camera quality, because I learned about that, and I have this now, and just all these different things, like, loop back around to being part of the personal brand, which is something that I really enjoy doing. Other things I want to do is I've repurposed. I've just put a new name on my Zillathor photography page on Instagram. I'm going to call it Zillathor Media, because it's, I realized I made this Zillathor photography page because I wanted somewhere to put my photography work that didn't quite fit on my main Zillathor page, but also I don't have a place for, like, video that I've made that doesn't quite pertain to me. It's just kind of like cool creative projects. I'm gonna start putting stuff like that on Zillathor Media now, is what it's called. That's just one of those little tweaks that I had to make, just so then I could have a place for more content. Always felt weird about having more than one. Well, it wasn't weird. It was something that I just pawed over in my head, that I don't need to stretch my content over multiple Instagram accounts. But if you have one tailored feed, it's hard to find a place for stuff to go on that feed. And then too often that it is just passed up because I didn't want to post it on my main page. So the other pages are just going to be for more specific content. I feel like that's just a way for me to break down another wall than me putting content out. I'm not sure. I'm gonna be getting back into streaming, I think, on Tuesday here. It's Sunday when I'm recording this. This podcast will go out yesterday. It was yesterday I started streaming again, because this podcast hopefully gonna go out on Wednesday. I started streaming again yesterday. My schedule is, I'm gonna try and stick to that schedule I put up before, that it was like the Tuesday, Wednesday from noon, and then the Friday, Saturday from noon till whatever, then from 7 till whatever. So then I do like a split stream on Friday and Saturday. Just means I can switch up the games, switch up who is available to watch them, kind of thing. May also throw in a stream on Friday, but that's just if I feel like it. It's not really scheduled, but I could just possibly do it because I want to get back into the swing of streaming. I got my Nintendo Switch now, so I'll be able to stream Switch games, and I'm going to try to compromise on my stream quality just a little bit, so then I can push what games I can play on my PC for now. I really want that sweet RTX card. It's going to be like the last wee piece to the puzzle of my PC. I've got a sick CPU, and graphics card's the only thing holding me back just a little bit, but also if I get the second get a new graphics card, I can put the old one into my other PC that's still sitting there. It needs like two parts, and then that can basically become my streaming PC, which gives me more ventures to play whatever the fuck I want, hopefully. Um, it will be some technical difficulties trying to work out how to get a streaming PC set up. It's just going to be one of those things where you have to do it to work through the problems, kind of thing. So that's hopefully coming up. Also, straying away from streaming and stuff like that, I want to be able to capitalize and kind of just get more work. And one thing always holding me back was transportation. So to rectify that, I am hopefully going to get a motorbike. I've been thinking about it for the longest. I've made the money for the deposit already. I'm just waiting for it to come in, and then fingers crossed, hopefully I am able to get that, because it like expands my reach, extends the amount of things that I can do. Like I can maybe start doing some extras and acting work down south and further afield in Northern Ireland, not just Belfast. I think the bike's going to be something that I wanted because it's something I've always wanted to do, and B, it creates new opportunities for me. I did have my eyes set on a Yamaha at first, but I had weird interaction with the person at the dealership, kind of put me off them. So then I moved on to wanting it's a Husqvarna. It's hard to say that brand, but I went to that, and then because that was basically the same price as the bike that I initially wanted, this is the bike that made me want to get into getting a bike. This is what just like kicked it all off. So I'm hopefully gonna try and get that. For now I can only ride up to a 125. But it is my foot in the door and gets me transport to make me able to do whatever the fuck I want with it. My mom always keeps saying that it's like a bit of freedom having your own transport. You don't have to rely on anybody. You don't have to say to anybody, just get up and go. And if you have any work opportunities, then I can get to them easy enough. Don't have to organize taxis or lifts or whatever, anything like that. I think transport's gonna be a big thing for me getting into more acting. If I do get a class or I start to do auditions or stuff like that then the bike gives me the opportunity to be able to get to those things easily and without relying on anyone else. Oh, it's so hot in here. We're in the middle of like the longest heat wave we've had in ages. I think we've had like one day where it's rained in like a month, and it's so hot. You have to excuse if you can hear the fan. It's just something we're gonna have to deal with right now. I've closed my door, which is like the only thing that I could manage, like I could stick doing. That's just so you can't hear everyone out there and the dog doesn't run in. But it's so hot in here. Other things I want to do for acting, I'm hopefully thinking of trying to put together like an acting CV. I was also looking into like a show reel as well, but I think when I looked into that further, it seems to be a show reel is a showcase of work that you've done, and I haven't really done anything. I've done like one thing, and not too proud of that, but it's whatever. So hopefully I'm gonna be getting into more of that. My acting stuff's not gonna be really shown on the surface because I read that it's not really ways to kind of just throw your stuff out there. The stuff you see from actors is often like old stuff or people that aren't really doing much. They just act and put something out just so they can say they've done something. So the whole acting side of things is going to be something that happens in the back end, and I'll let you know when something happens or I have to take time for a part or anything like that. Obviously I'll share all experiences through that with you on the podcast, hopefully. But yeah, it's just a rambling in my thoughts. This is a shorter one because I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about content ways that I can really share, and haven't started streaming yet as of recording this, by the time it comes out, I will have started streaming again, so I'll have plenty of stuff like that to talk about, and hopefully I'll get into some topics. Last thing I wanted to talk about is I was working for the past couple of months, and I had a couple of payments, and I invested in my room, and I think I wanted to put it out there that people should like invest in their room more. Like this space, it's a small room, but it's packed full of like everything that I want to do and everything I can do. It is a reflection of me. It's all the things that I enjoy, and it's simply for me. Like this, like all my nerd shit and all in the background, and people always say, "Oh, you can't have that about because you're a certain age or stuff like that." Don't let that fuss you. If you want to invest in your room, make it your sanctuary, your foundation to build whatever the fuck you want, because that is honestly probably one of the keys to my sanity, even through like the lockdown and stuff like that. This room's just been my like safe haven and my, like I said, my foundation, upon which I'm going to build my empire. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna get to work. I nearly stumbled on that one because I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna go get to work, and I'll show you what I'm gonna be up to next. Thanks for watching. Peace. Gonna tag us on the end of the video because I forgot to say it. Shout out to Kanto, my biggest fan of the podcasts. You got your name on the leg of my robot. Check that shit out. Told you I would do it. Little boy are. Hell yeah, bro.